Hey folks, Tito here at the Buckeye Blitz. Thank you for tuning in. We're at Fanstream Sports powered by DSP Media. You can download the free app for Apple and Android users. Fanstream Sports app has got great stuff, new stuff all the time, new shows we're adding, great talent all across the country. And so make sure you check us out. Also go to fanstreamsports.com. The newly designed website, lots of great stuff there as well, both written content and the audio. You can check that out. Everywhere you get your podcast, please listen, like, subscribe, all that. So anyway, follow me on Twitter, by the way, @ThatHappens. All right. So Ohio State takes on Illinois this weekend, and it's a game in Champaign. Buckeyes coming in as a 15.5-point favorite. May have gone down to 14.5, but it's somewhere in that range. And so Ohio State comes in having allowed less than 10 points a game in any game for the last 5 games. The school record, I believe, is 6, which was set in 1979, Earl Bruce's first year. In the middle of the season, the Buckeyes won a 6-game stretch without allowing at least 10 points in a game. And that team went on to play for a chance to win the national championship. It wasn't the national championship game necessarily because it was still rankings and not playoff and all of that. No BCS. It was way back when. But Ohio State was ranked number 1 and undefeated, playing USC in the Rose Bowl. And the Buckeyes lost that game 17-16. USC's team featured Charles White. I think Ronnie Lott was on that team. I don't know if he was or not. Anthony Munoz was on that team, I believe. I know Paul McDonald was. So that was a really good USC team that beat Ohio State that year. But we'll see if Illinois has a chance to be the first team this season to score double digits against the Buckeyes. The biggest challenge for Ohio State will be Illinois quarterback Luke Altmeyer. He's not a real mobile quarterback. He's a great passer, but he's not real mobile, and Illinois does not do a great job of protecting him. Sometimes he'll hold onto the ball a little bit too long, but he's an experienced quarterback. And when you've got an experienced quarterback, you've got a guy with a Big Ten experienced head coach in Brett Bielema, who had a lot of success at Wisconsin before, not doing so hot at Arkansas, but now doing good things at Illinois. So they've got they have big plays. They've been known for having big plays this year, and I was reading this on The Athletic that Altmeyer, Illinois, he averages 10.6 yards per attempt, which is pretty good. Illinois does as a team. So it'll be key to stopping. Well, the key is stopping Luke Altmeyer. To stop Luke Altmeyer, then they're going to win the game easy. The fact that Illinois' offensive line is not great, you could see Ohio State, and one of their knocks on Ohio State maybe is they don't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They haven't done a lot of that this year. And so we'll see if they unleash it a little more here. We know we talk about Ohio State being conservative on the offensive side, and they're not conservative on defense, except maybe in this regard they are. Maybe in the way they blitz and pass rush and things like that. But Ohio State, though, I want to see a game where this defense, which has allowed 25 points in 5 games, puts more pressure on the quarterback. One of those things that could play a big role in that is defensive end Kenyatta Jackson, and he got hurt early on in the game against Minnesota. Stayed on the sideline, but Ryan Day said earlier this week that he is trending in the right direction to play against Illinois. We'll see how that goes. Ohio State, though, speaking of Luke Altmeyer, Ohio State really has shut down the opposing quarterbacks this season. They're only giving up 124 passing yards per game, and they're forcing teams into 3rd and longs. And that's the neat part about it, is that Ohio State has been so good on 1st and 2nd down. You get to a point where the team knows they have to throw, and if they try to sneak a run on you, like on a 3rd and 13, they try to run like a draw play or something, Ohio State's usually right there because of the athleticism up front. So all these things work out well for Ohio State. Matt Patricia does a fantastic job. Matty P does a great job of recognizing weaknesses in the other team early on and adapting on the fly and makes adjustments. He does that as well as any defensive coordinator I've ever seen at Ohio State. He mixes up his coverages. You saw teams before had tried to, Washington, for instance, tried to run tempo against Ohio State to eliminate some of the communications that can go on between Patricia and the players on the field, and getting the plays called and what kind of things to do. Because Ohio State, if you watch, a lot of the times, if they've got time to set up the defense, they will set up a certain way that makes it look like they're going to do something when they're going to zig. And as soon as the play starts, they zag and go into something else. They make it very difficult. Ohio State's defense has got a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions, and they've got a lot of depth. And so I got to believe it's a nightmare for people to try to to scheme against Ohio State's defense, because Ohio State's defense, obviously it's the best in the country as far as I'm concerned, and we'll see what they do this week. But they're going to make life difficult for Luke Altmeyer and the Fighting Illini. Matt Patricia, by the way, another side note on this one. I heard Peyton Pierce, the linebacker for Ohio State, he was talking about Matt Patricia, and there was a video, a picture, Tim May, who does stuff for us here, the Tim May show featuring Clay Hall, of after practice, like an hour after practice ends, and you see Matt Patricia sitting with a couple of the guys just talking. And Peyton Pierce said that he's talked more with Matt Patricia the time he's been here and Matt Patricia hasn't been that long, obviously. I mean, it's been a very short time he's been here, than he did in the whole 2 years talking to Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles didn't talk to them that way. And Matt Patricia is great at building relationships and just talking to people. And so that's been a big plus for this team. Peyton Pierce, the linebacker, is one who said that. And Ohio State, look, Illinois is not the best offense they've played. When you look at the different losses people have had, so like the Texas win does not look as great now. Washington almost losing to Maryland. That Washington win does not look as great now. But they have played offenses that came in either hyped or had already produced. And Ohio State's shut them down. I expect a lot of the same here. Illinois' defense, they give up a lot of yards, and I'm hoping Ohio State opens it up. Jeremiah Williams was not the guy last week. It was Carnell Tate, which is fine. He had 8 and 9 for 183 and 2 touchdowns. I think what Carnell Tate had. Anyway, and Jeremiah Smith said, I'm fine with that. If they're going to focus on me, we've got plenty of other guys that can beat him. Jeremiah Smith, very unselfish, and he understands that if teams played him straight up, man-to-man, he would be running away with the Heisman Trophy. Right? He won't say it. I'll say it. He'd be running away with the Heisman Trophy right now. Teams, though, key on him and make other people beat him. And Ohio State's got the depth, got the talent to do just that. I think that will happen again. I think Julian Sayin has a big game. I think Bo Jackson will have a big game. I want to see Ohio State open it up more in this game against Illinois. The weather will be dependent on that, how windy it is out there. I'd like to see him do it, though. I think Ohio State wins this game rather easily. It pains me to say because I don't want the streak to end. But I see 41-10 Ohio State, which would be right around the over-under. I think the over-under line is 50.5, but I love Ohio State laying the points. That's it for this edition of Buckeye Blitz. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on Twitter, @FitHappens. Download the free app, Fanstream Sports. We're powered by DSP Media. Apple and Android users, get it for free. Go to fanstreamsports.com. Check out our brand new website. We're going to talk again next week after we get a Buckeye win in the books.